There are moments in life when a single decision can alter everything you thought you knew. A choice so seemingly small, yet so catastrophically powerful, that it sends you spiraling down a path you never imagined you'd walk. This is my story, a story of passion, betrayal, guilt, and the unbearable weight of secrets. I was a devoted wife, or at least I thought I was. My marriage to Frank had once been filled with laughter, stolen kisses, and midnight whispers. But as the years passed, the love that once set my soul on fire dwindled into routine, into monotony. And then came the massage, a gift, a simple act of thoughtfulness from my husband, a moment meant to ease my stress, to bring me comfort. But what it brought instead was temptation. And what started as a professional touch quickly became something far more dangerous. This is my confession. My name is Lisa, I'm 27, and I have a confession to make. My husband Frank is a good man, a hard worker, a provider, a stable presence in my life. But as the years passed, our marriage fell into a routine. We were comfortable, yes, but there was no spark, no fire. I felt more like his roommate than his wife. The passion we once had faded into something predictable. It wasn't his fault entirely. Maybe I let myself slip into the dull rhythm of our lives, too. Then came that fateful day. I had been complaining about back pains and stress from work. Frank, always thoughtful, decided to surprise me. "I booked you a massage session," he said with a smile, handing me the appointment card. "A massage?" I asked, pleasantly surprised. "You did that for me?" "Of course," he chuckled, pressing a kiss to my forehead. "You deserve to relax." I smiled, hiding the emptiness I had been feeling for so long. I wanted to tell him that what I really needed was his touch, his attention, his passion, but instead, I just nodded and accepted the gift. If only I had known what that gift would lead to. The day of the appointment, I walked into the spa, inhaling the rich scent of essential oils and calming music humming through the air. I had been to massage parlors before, but there was something different about this place. It felt intimate. That's when I met him. "Lisa!" A deep, velvety voice called my name. I turned and froze. Standing before me was the most breathtaking man I had ever seen. He was tall, with broad shoulders and a lean, muscular frame. His deep brown eyes held something mysterious, something dangerous. His name tag read Mike. "Hi," I managed to say, suddenly feeling shy. "Yes, I'm Lisa." He smiled, slow and confident. "Welcome, I'll be taking care of you today." I swallowed hard, feeling something stir inside me. "It's just a massage," I told myself. Nothing more. He led me into a dimly lit room with soft candles and a plush massage table. "Make yourself comfortable," he instructed. "Lie face down, and I'll be back in a minute." I nodded, my heart racing. As I undressed and lay under the sheet, I scolded myself for feeling so nervous. You're a married woman. This is professional. Relax. But when Mike returned and placed his hands on my bare back, I knew deep down that nothing about this would be professional. His hands were warm, firm, and knowing. He started slow, kneading my shoulders, working out the tension that had built up over the years. I sighed, sinking into his touch, letting myself forget about everything else. "Long day?" he asked, his voice smooth as silk. "You have no idea," I whispered, my body melting under his touch. He chuckled softly, his fingers trailing lower, pressing into the small of my back. Every stroke, every movement, sent shivers through me. I had never been touched like this, not in a long, long time. "You carry a lot of stress," he murmured, his breath tickling my ear. I closed my eyes, gripping the sheet beneath me. It's just a massage. Just a massage. But my body didn't believe it. Every part of me responded to him, every inch of my skin alive with sensation. His hands moved lower, kneading my hips, pressing firmly against muscles I didn't even know were tight. A soft gasp escaped my lips. My breathing quickened. "Relax," he whispered, his hands slowing, almost teasing. I swallowed hard. I was dangerously close to losing control, to crossing a line I could never uncross. And then, he leaned in, his lips barely brushing my ear. "Tell me if you want me to stop." I should have said yes. I should have ended it right there. But instead, I whispered the one word that sealed my fate. No. The moment the word left my lips, I knew I had surrendered to something beyond my control. Mike's hands hesitated only for a second, as if giving me one last chance to back out. But I didn't. My breath was shallow, my skin burning where his fingers had traced. Slowly, deliberately, his hands moved lower, pressing into my lower back, then my thighs. My body betrayed me, arching instinctively into his touch. The tension between us thickened, the air growing heavier with something unspoken, yet undeniable. "Lisa," he murmured, his voice dangerously close. "Are you sure?" I turned my head slightly, meeting his eyes for the first time since this started. There was something in them, a mix of restraint and desire, a silent battle within himself. But I had already made my choice. "Yes," I breathed. The last thread of professionalism snapped. His hands became more daring, exploring my curves, igniting sensations that had long been dormant. My pulse pounded in my ears as I felt his breath on my neck, warm and teasing. What started as a massage had become something else entirely. Every touch, every movement sent shivers through me. His lips hovered just inches from my skin, tempting, testing my resolve. And when they finally brushed against my shoulder, I knew there was no turning back. I should have felt guilt. I should have thought about Frank, about our marriage, about the life we had built together. But in that moment, with Mike's hands on me, all reason vanished. I was lost in the heat, the passion, the thrill of doing something I shouldn't. My fingers clenched the sheets as I gave in completely, letting the moment consume me. The weight of my choices would come later, but for now, I belonged to this forbidden pleasure, to him. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of emotions, lust, guilt, and the undeniable addiction to Mike's touch. I found myself making excuses to return to the spa, lying to Frank about work schedules and errands. Each time I walked into that dimly lit room, the outside world ceased to exist. Mike and I became reckless. What had started as a single moment of weakness evolved into a full-blown affair. The intensity between us was magnetic, something I couldn't walk away from even if I tried. The guilt ate at me, yet it wasn't strong enough to make me stop. Then came the day everything changed. A missed period. At first, I told myself it was just stress, that my body was reacting to the weight of my deception. But as days turned into weeks, the truth became undeniable. Panic settled deep within me. I took a test in the solitude of our bathroom, my hands trembling as I waited for the result. 2 pink lines. Pregnant. My breath caught in my throat as reality crashed down on me. My mind raced through the possibilities. Was it Frank's or Mike's? The uncertainty of it made my stomach twist into knots. I avoided Mike for days, ignoring his calls and messages. I told myself I needed time to think, to figure out my next move. But I couldn't avoid him forever. When I finally walked back into the spa, he saw the truth in my eyes before I even spoke. "You're pregnant," he said, his voice unreadable. I nodded, unable to form words. His jaw clenched, and for the first time, I saw something flicker in his expression. Fear. "What are you going to do?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know." And that was the truth. I didn't know if I should tell Frank, if I should end the pregnancy, if I should confess everything, or take this secret to my grave. I didn't know how to fix the mess I had created. And the worst part? Frank had just booked another massage session for me. The weight of my secret had become unbearable. Every time Frank kissed me, every time he held me close, I felt like a fraud. I couldn't live with the lie any longer. One evening, as we sat on the couch, I took a deep breath and said the words that would change everything. "Frank, I need to tell you something." His eyes, filled with love and trust, met mine. "What is it, Lisa?" Tears welled in my eyes. My hands trembled. I made a mistake." His smile faded. "What kind of mistake?" "I cheated on you," I whispered, my voice barely audible. "And I don't know if the baby is yours." Silence. Deafening, suffocating silence. Frank stood up, running his hands through his hair, his face twisted in pain. "Lisa, how could you?" Tears streamed down my face. "I don't know. I was lost. I felt alone. It just happened." His fists clenched. "With who?" "The masseur." "Mike." The name hung in the air like a curse. Frank paced back and forth, his breathing heavy. "So this whole time, while I was loving you, while I was taking care of us, you were with him?" "I never stopped loving you," I sobbed. "I don't expect you to forgive me, but I couldn't keep lying." He shook his head. "I need time." And with that, he walked out the door, leaving me alone with the consequences of my actions. I had shattered the man who had given me everything, and now I had to live with the wreckage.